Okay. Hello again, everybody. Today we're only going to do one house because it's very large and um, I want to give it a little more attention. Um, for those of you that have been playing ESO since Somerset came out, you most likely own this house if you also owned Somerset because it was a free home, but it's a free notable home with 700 item limit. I have completely filled the item limit to the brim. um, so there will be, a lot of it though, plants, etc. I like some ambiance. So it may not look like this place is filled to the brim, but oh, trust me, it is filled to the brim. I have to take things out to put anything new in. Um, yeah. So this is the Grand Psijic Villa, and you come in through this little portal here, which I think is very pretty. A little weird, but very pretty. And you come out into this courtyard. And so the Grand Psijic Villa is what I consider currently to be my, like, dueling arena guild's house, whatever. And this is my primary residence currently. Um, when I plan to have a dueling tournament and stuff, it was going to be hosted here. And may someday in the future if we ever get any interest in it again. Um, so I had an outdoor arena going on. We got a platform up there for me or whoever's presiding over the tournament to sit and watch people duke it out. And we have the lovely Nocturnal. Love this statue so much. Wish I had like 50 of them. Nocturnal is beautiful. By far my favorite Daedric Prince. We've got a little bit of torchlit lighting. We've got a couple other statues here. We've got this St. Pellin broken statue here. Used to have a whole bunch of flowers and whatever around his base, but item limits being what they are, and I didn't want to get rid of my glowy gardens because I like them better. So, whee, so purple. A high elf statue guy. And then off to this side, we have Crafter's Row. Now, originally, my intention was to put sets, crafting sets, the attunables, all the way along this place. Needless to say, because I found out that I met that limit very early on, that's probably not going to be the case, at least not anytime soon. But we do have the basics, so none of these are attuned, but they are usable crafting stations. And while crafting, you get a beautiful view of that lovely, rather loud waterfall. So, I do love the environment here. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous with the, you know, you've got the coral and stuff underneath. This beautiful blue colored water. I mean, it's really quite stunning for a free house. I mean, they put in so much effort. And I commend them for it. Big time. So, now if you were to go the other direction, come down here, and this is Merchant Row. So, of course, we've got Nuzume hawking her wares here. She's got lots of fabric going on. And then, of course, there's also Tithus, our banker, with his very shiny chests full of various things, and they're all full, and I still have more stuff I wish I could put in them. Hint, hint, sauce. Make the chests and stuff hold more things. Hint, hint. Then we have a little bar, tavern, whatever, on the end. A little outdoor cafe, so to speak. Figured it would give quite beautiful views of the cliffs, of the ruins up there. Gorgeous water, you know. Plus, I mean, who doesn't get a little thirsty, maybe a little peckish after some shopping, you know? Assuming you haven't spent all of your gold on motifs and furniture recipes and whatever. Alright. And we'll go up this side. This is one of my favorite places up here. I mean, that view, it's just very pretty. It's even better when my draw distance is a little higher, but it currently is not. And so, okay. So this is a lovely, if I can hop up there, yep. Lovely little shrine to Mara, a hand fasting place for, you know, getting married. We got some lovely Merkmeyer lamps, hanging bottle, and I'm gonna blame Shockley for the fact that was unlit because he likes to come in here and turn off all my lights. Such a jerk. Anyway. We love you, Shockley, even when we want to stab you in the kidneys. But yeah, and I put this to cover up because there's a lot of rubble back here. Which is cool. I mean, really adds to the ambiance of the Psijic Villa. But I felt for the hand fasting place, it might be nice to have, you know, a prettier backdrop. So, especially good if you wanted to take pictures and stuff like that here. Unfortunately, you can't actually get married because it's not an interaction. It's not an interactable shrine. So, there's that. I didn't really do anything over here except put some trees and stuff in, and Lyra, also known as Foxfire, she helped me decide where to put some of the trees and plants and everything. She helped put them out. She helped a lot with the inside too because I got really overwhelmed. I mean, you guys can see the size of this place. So I knew what I wanted to do when I started, but I just had no clue how to go about it. And she was a lifesaver, getting everything kind of started and squared away, and she did a beautiful job as always. You should see her houses as well because they're fantastic. But in case you haven't been to this house, you don't own this house, whatever, I mean, you can see the incredible detail down here. I mean, they put in this lovely kind of flooded patio area that's just superb. I mean, it's really, really gorgeous. We once talked about having a Shockley duel with other pro duelists down here because you always run the risk of falling off the edge and having trouble getting back up again. But what's that? Seriously though, the detail in this house is just really, really incredible. Alright, So if we go over to this side, we have another tree here, just chilling with some hanging lanterns. It's not quite as pretty as the other side, I admit, but I felt it kind of balanced the two out a bit. And I built this lovely gazebo. Originally it was going to be like for a outdoor cafe bar type thing, because apparently that's what I really love to design. And that would make me sound like a bit of an alcoholic lush, but I actually don't drink pretty much ever. But I really love, maybe because they give us so much stuff for it, you know? I mean, they give us all the different bars and counters and the mugs and the wine glasses and the bottles of wine and the bottles of liquor and, just everything, kegs, etc. So when they give us so many things that are very, for the most part, easy to craft, cheap to craft, I mean, the wine bottles and stuff, not so much, because most of those are elixirs or praxis or what, the one that needs alchemy, and it gets expensive. But the bars and chairs and some of the mugs and stuff, all pretty cheap to craft, and so why not just make everything into a bar? I mean, hey, plus I always think of everything in Tamriel in relation to drinking. I just think all adventurers probably drink all the time. I think just maybe it's because one of my first ever ESO characters was a Nord, and I always just assumed she was drunk all the time, because Nords were always drunk all the time. Always with the mead. But anyway, I ended up, because I was running low on places, making it into a stable. But hey, now my horsey and my Psijic Sench here have a lovely shaded area in which to lounge. Not that it ever gets particularly sunny here. This is pretty much the only time of day for this house. This kind of twilighty dusk. And they also have kind of like a dawn. So it's like dim and dimmer, basically. Those are the options. There's no night. There's no noon. It's very sad, because this place would look absolutely gorgeous at night or even in bright daylight. I mean, it really would, but oh well, it is what it is. This is my fortune teller's hut. So, fortune teller would sit here and tell you what grand adventures await, and blah 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 blah. People can sit and wait to have their fortunes told here. I just really wanted an excuse to use my Redguard tent, honestly, because it's pretty and I like it. A random, ginormous, reekling bonfire, because why not? I really do like that whoosh when it turns on. That's pretty fun. Speaking of Shockley, as we were earlier, Shockley, Mar, Earthly, Frodo, myself. This is the Scrub Shack. So we got a dresser and a candle. We got a table with some incense. Cough, cough, incense. We've got some various scrubby beds going on. The scrubs do get a beautiful view. Some water, some cliffs, But definitely a little ramshackle. Because scrubs, they don't need much, right? Do their laundry outside, like you do. This house was actually kind of a pain in the butt to make. But I think it kind of turned out exactly how I wanted. Little hobo chic. Let me go up this ramp. Pop up there. And then over here we just have a lovely viewing port for everything. And if you're feeling frisky, oh shit. Ooh. Whew. That was close. Alright. But yeah, if you're feeling frisky, you can jump off of that. This is actually a really fun spot for lawn darts. And for those of you not familiar with that, that's basically where somebody jumps off and everybody else follows suit, trying to get as close to their body as possible. Because if you hit it just incorrectly, you actually won't die. But there are numerous ways in which you can die. So you either try to get as close to the person's body, or you try to get further than that person's body, or whatever. I mean, there's various different ways to play. But definitely a fun location for that. Okay, I guess since we're here, I'll show you this right now. This is my favorite place in all of this house. And this is my giant shrine to Sithis. When I bought this statue, I was complaining because it was 3,000 crowns or something for this thing. And I was like, that's so much freaking money. I mean, really, why would you pay that much money for a stupid statue? And then I got it out and was like, holy shit. Because it is ginormous. I mean, look at this thing. It's freaking huge. It's so freaking huge, and it's got 3 different bowls. So there's the one in his crotch, which is making the water glow, right there. And then there's this one over there. And then there's that one over there. And they all light up. Or none of them light up. Kind of just depends on what you prefer. But, yes. So, Sithis, our dread father. Hello. Hello, Dad. What's up? With his severed head. Oh, fantastic. And I built this little shrine in here with a Hagraven ritual cauldron. And, you know, somebody's performing the Black Sacrament. You got the heart, the knife, a cup for the blood, a bowl for any leftover blood, some bone chimes, you know. Last weekend, they had the Dark Brotherhood stained glass window thing. And it's probably too big for the space, but I kind of wanted to put it behind this thing. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense because that would be under stairs and so there wouldn't be any light coming through it, but nothing in this game really makes that much sense, so who cares, right? Right. Anyway. Alright. Let's head inside and see the inside. First up, we have the entryway, which is littered with various little statues, the free ones that we get. And then we have a lovely time-worn ballroom floor. This is the main dueling hall for indoor, so in case there's inclement weather. Not that it ever rains in Artaeum, but, you know, if we just pretend. And floor is quite damaged because lots of people throwing out dawn breakers and stuff all the time, you know? Just slamming things into the ground. And of course we've got a lovely throne once again, so we can look out and watch things and feel fancy, basically. I didn't do anything upstairs really, except I put some lights into alcoves. And somebody's been in here again. I'm gonna murder him. Really. It's gonna happen. Murdered. Like how he was strategic. I'm just gonna turn off a couple of them in random places. Find out if she ever notices. Well, guess what? I did. Anyway, these are little practice dueling halls. And really, if you guys ever do want to duel or whatever, please feel free, make use of the place. I've got some little viewing platforms so that people can watch duels in progress. And the other room is exactly the same, just opposite side. We have some bookshelves with some books. We've got lots of food areas so people can sit and watch the duels here while eating dinner and a fight, you know. We have our shivering cheese. Cheesy? Cheesiest. Yes. Sparkling, glowing, tinkling. And over here in the Villa South suite, we have the Fighter's Barracks. So I turned this into a place where, you know, the various people that might be fighting would be staying. So we've got a whole bunch of beds with nightstands, some trunks, etc. Gave them their own little dining space and a fire that is, yes, extremely bright because I made this one with some charred fire log piles and some Nord torches that are buried in the ground. So it's blindingly bright on the backdrop and not particularly fiery, but it worked at the time. Bunk beds. Fighters are too broke to, you know, dry their clothes anywhere else. They just dry them in here. Got some mid-year mayhem banners because, you know, we're all about the mayhem. Although we're all about the mayhem all year long, but hey. This is the Fighters Baths, or it's a club sort of thing. I mean, I did this nifty little club lighting with the water, so it's all illuminated, fancy. And kind of wish that these fountains actually worked. There are fountains that do work, of course, but these are just not them, unfortunately. But you can see there was definitely this club theme going on with all of these colorful things. We've got a medic station, you know, for any fighters that are injured during their time. Got some herbs, potions, etc., and a cot. And of course, bathtubs. Funky blue and purple candles everywhere. Crystals, candles, whatevs. Soak your bones. Drink, chill, etc., etc., so on and so forth. I really feel like this house needs to have a higher limit, though. I mean, I think 1,000 would just be better. But, you know, there's only so much that consoles and whatever can handle. So they limit us, and we have to just deal with it, make do. So this is for the elite fighters. The best of the best get access to the Lion's Den. And it's basically just a super fancy tavern, bar, etc. Again, because bars are just so much fun to make. But we got some kebabs cooking, maybe a stew here. I did actually spend the time putting wine bottles into this wine rack, and I kind of wanted to punch myself in the face, but we did it. And it looks halfway decent. And then this is a little secret room. And we have a D&D setup, essentially. So for playing the games, needless to say, this is probably one of those things you've got to pay to get into. But it's a little... You got the Game Master set up. And some spots for some gamers. And a place to relax and watch, listen, whatever. I mean, there's not a whole lot of action going on except moving some pieces and throwing some dice, but listening is definitely by far the best part. And I had to put it's very dim in here because I had to put the candle sconces all the way back here, because if I put them on this wall, you would see it through the wall and you would know that this was a room back here. And I mean, if you own the place, you know that that's a room back there as well. But you'd also know it was a used room, that there was actually something going on back here. So, anyway, and this is the bench for the bouncer to sit on for the hidden room. But yeah. So that's my Grand Psijic Villa, which again is currently my primary residence. And it's it still feels very unfinished, even though it's as full as it possibly can be. But it is what it is, you know? And we make do. So I tried to include a little bit of every race throughout this whole place. We've got some orc tapestries, some Nord tapestries, Redguard, we got a dark elf thing, we got a Breton rug, etc. Because I really wanted this place to feel like it was a mixing pot of warriors from all over doing their various dueling and beating the crap out of each other, you know, like we do, obviously. And I just wanted it to be kind of fun. I wanted it to seem kind of inviting. Like, you know, there's lots of things to kind of scope out. Not just a come in, here's a dining hall, here's a bedroom, etc., etc. But yeah. So feel free to visit whenever it strikes you and make use of it however you see fit. But just know that if you decide to be like Shackley and turn all my lights on and off, I will stab you in the kidneys repeatedly for the rest of your miserable life. Love you guys. Bye-bye.